This review will not contain any spoilers. So I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters, and...
Hey! Don't scratch! Just cleaning up the timelines!
This was an absolute blast, you guys. Maybe it's because I haven't been in the theaters for a very long time, but I had so much fun with this movie. I love the first two Deadpool films. I thought they were very entertaining, funny, and action-packed. I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and all of his fourth wall-breaking quips, so I was looking forward to this one, and it didn't disappoint. The funny is strong here. However, with all that being said, I did have some major issues with it as well. So let's not beat around the bush and get into all of it. I'll start with what I liked. The film is hilarious, with great jokes of many kinds, self-referential jokes, fourth wall breaks, and a bunch of other crazy stuff that I don't want to spoil. The humor in the Deadpool movies is really something special, and here in particular, it was easily the strongest part of the film, and worth the price of admission alone. The way Deadpool just dunks on absolutely everybody, and just the sheer quantity of the jokes being hurled at you at breakneck speed, only stopping for brief periods at a time, had me laughing out loud with a giant smile on my face for the vast majority of the runtime. Some of the biggest laughs came from some absolutely outrageous cameos. One in particular pulled a massive trick on me, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. The action was creative and fast-paced. I loved a specific one near the end that was done in one shot. And the film is hella violent, but in a good way. The filmmakers were very creative with the action scenes here. Right from the jump even, during the opening credits. Which is good, because when you have two characters that are practically immortal and indestructible to work with, you really have no excuse. But no excuse was needed here, because the film delivered on that front. It was great to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again. The film makes fun of him relentlessly, but he still manages to come out of it looking like $1,000,000. And yes, it was fun to see him in his iconic yellow suit. He looked great in it. But I'm not that much of an ultra mega nerd to have this make too much of a difference for me, I'm being honest. Ryan Reynolds was hilarious as always, and there were a bunch of other characters that I enjoyed watching, but I don't want to spoil who they are or why. Just a few secrets for you to experience for yourselves. So as a whole, the film was fun, funny, action-packed, and just a blasting good time in the theaters. But it wasn't without its problems. The villains weren't great, they were pretty bland and didn't leave too much of an impression on me. The film has way too much exposition. They make fun of it also, but that specifically was a cop-out. The film wasn't written that well, and they know it, but instead of actually writing a good script, they just added a few jokes here and there to try and cover it up. Not cool. Also, the plot is unnecessarily confusing, filled with science-y mumbo-jumbo that just doesn't need to be there. Also, I had issues with the film trying to tie itself into the MCU timeline. It felt super forced. I kinda do appreciate it, in a way, you know, that they try to tie things together from a storytelling perspective, as in, we think this is serious, so we're gonna put effort into trying to explain all of it and try to make it make sense kinda way, but they fail. Miserably. Besides, the MCU's overarching story sucks right now. Maybe the movie shouldn't have had anything to do with the overarching story. Maybe that would have been the correct move. I just think the MCU is handicapping itself on a regular basis. The stories are weak, trying to force stakes and emotional heft unsuccessfully over and over again, and this film, unfortunately, was no different. These types of films are at their strongest when they just try to have a good time and not take themselves too seriously. And this film, to its credit, does that more often than not, but it still falls into the same trappings as its predecessors. And when it did, I found myself rolling my eyes and wishing that the film would just get back to the good stuff. Why not? Just be good the whole way through. Why do you even need this? So, to summarize in one sentence, I guess my problem with the film is that it's an MCU movie. Good heroes, a lighthearted humorous tone, and fast-paced action, but bland, forgettable villains, an overly confusing plot, too much exposition, fairly dull visuals, and so on and so on. It's almost as if all the good stuff to me were related to it being a Deadpool film, and all the bad stuff were related to it being an MCU film as well. And this film was a fun time. It was a really fun time, but I don't think it's the signal for change in the MCU's future that we were hoping it would be. I highly doubt that. Still, as an MCU movie, it's probably the best one since No Way Home. And the good Marvel movies are a really fun time, and this one was no exception. Though it has the usual problems, the positives actually outweigh the negatives here. As I said before, I had an absolute blast with it. I recommend it to anybody looking for a good time at the theaters, and I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button, it'll help my channel out. And if you want to see more of my videos, then subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a thing. Thank you all very much, and have a good one.